This AI company is now bigger than Apple.
Chip-making giant NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
$3 trillion in market cap.
The world's second most valuable company.
NVIDIA is now bigger than Apple, Facebook, and even Microsoft. But how did all of this happen? How did a company that was on the verge of bankruptcy become the 9th company to hit the $1 trillion mark? Let's find out by understanding what NVIDIA actually does. And for that, we'll have to go back in time. So, let's go. The year was 1993, when the movie Jurassic Park was just released. And the movie was an instant hit, earning over $914 million, which made it the highest grossing movie at that time. But why was the movie so successful? The dinosaurs? Yes, the reason is actually the huge dinosaurs. And I mean the graphics used in the movie. See, before Jurassic Park, there were a lot of movies that had used computer-generated graphics in their scene. But Jurassic Park was the first movie that combined CGI and live characters in a single movie, which made the huge piece look even more real. And when the movie became a hit, there was a huge demand to create computer-generated graphics. It was the same time when the computer revolution came to the United States, where in 1990, only 15% of Americans had access to a PC. In 1997, it went up to 35% of Americans who had a PC. Because by that time, the PC had become a necessity for Americans. So all the big computer companies had one question in common. What was the future of computing and how will they work in the times ahead? For this, we need to understand the basic parts of computer, which are input devices like your keyboard and mouse, output devices like your monitor and speakers, storage devices like hard disks and SSDs, and the central processing unit of a computer, or the CPU, which handled all the processing done by a computer. And most people thought that the CPU will continue handling all the tasks in the future. But at the same time, a Taiwan-born American, Jensen Huang, along with his friends Curtis Priem and Chris Malachowski, found NVIDIA and coined the term Graphical Processing Unit, or the GPU. These three believe that graphics-based computing will be the future. See, at that time, most of the applications were handled by the CPU. But with the continued improvements to CGI and graphical technology, the GPU became a critical component for handling these kinds of applications. So in 1993, the trio founded NVIDIA and started developing computer graphics for video games. According to Jensen Huang, users were able to attach the GPU to the motherboard and also increase the speed of the CPU by using a GPU. Fast forward to 1997, NVIDIA created its first high-performing graphics chip. And because NVIDIA did not have the manufacturing prowess to manufacture chips independently, they outsourced to a Taiwanese giant, TSMC, which till date manufactured chips for NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, and many other tech companies. But in 1997, NVIDIA almost went pro. At that time, NVIDIA was creating graphics cards for Sega. And for all the Gen Zs out there, yes, Sega is the company behind the popular game. NVIDIA was developing a graphics card for Sega's 128-bit console, Dreamcast. But midway through the development process, NVIDIA realized that it had taken the wrong approach, because Microsoft was about to announce their own texture mapping approach, which would make NVIDIA's product incompatible with the Windows 95. Imagine, you worked all this while for something and the platform you're building it for decides to change the entire path. So if NVIDIA continued to build the console, it would be an inferior product and also incompatible with Windows. So not many will buy it and they would eventually go broke. But if they did not build it, they would instantly go broke. These were the two choices left with NVIDIA. So Jensen Huang gets on a phone call with the CEO of Sega and tells him that NVIDIA won't be able to build the graphics hardware for their console and that they should find another partner, and made a very humble request to the CEO of Sega to pay him in full, because without the money, NVIDIA would go bankrupt. And quite surprisingly, Sega paid him the money. Jensen Huang till date does not know why Sega gave them the money, but it did give them enough runway to last for another 6 months. During this period, NVIDIA built their next graphics card, Riva 128, which put NVIDIA back on the map. Now the year is 2000 and Microsoft is launching the first gaming console, the Xbox. And because it was a gaming console, Microsoft partnered with NVIDIA to develop exclusive graphics cards for Xbox. And guess what? Microsoft also gave them $200 million in advance. This was a major turning point for NVIDIA as they did $1 billion in revenue and was the driving force behind major games that were released that year. Back then, NVIDIA did not only develop graphics for consoles, they were also collaborating with other game developers. It means that they were helping game developers like Blizzard optimize their games for NVIDIA hardware to make sure that the frame rate is smooth and the gaming experience is great. And they still do it today, which is why you must have seen powered by NVIDIA or preferred partner NVIDIA in most of the gaming titles. And soon, even Sony started using NVIDIA cards on PS3 as well. So they had become the go-to company if you wanted to develop your own graphics card. Today, when gamers argue who will win between Xbox and PlayStation, the answer is NVIDIA, because their chips are in both these consoles. This brings us to the next chapter. Now it's 2004 and NVIDIA started to work on a new project called NVIDIA CUDA, which was launched in 2006. CUDA, which means Compute Unified Device Architecture. This is a computing platform and programming model which changed the way of working of all NVIDIA GPUs, which meant that all NVIDIA GPUs were able to handle multiple tasks all at the same time through parallel processing. And now, because the performance of these GPUs increased, it was able to do 3D rendering, interconversion of video files, encryption, decryption, and conversion all at once. Now, you might feel that everything NVIDIA touched became gold, right? Wrong. So, in the year 2010, they entered into the smartphone market with their Tegra lineup of chips. But guess what? They failed miserably. So they eventually closed down the Tegra project and focused on improving their own graphics card. And this is where they struck gold. Because in 2018, NVIDIA launched their first ever RTX card, RTX 2080, which became the world's first ray tracing graphics card. Now you would ask me how the GTX and the RTX series are different. See, the GTX series graphics cards were originally designed to enhance the overall performance of the PC games, providing gamers with improved visuals and higher frame rates. But if you look closely, a graphics card can be used in a number of different areas apart from gaming, like architecture, energy exploration, product design, scientific visualization, film and video production, and this is where the RTX series graphics cards come into play. The RTX cards introduced with NVIDIA's Turing architecture and continued with the Ampere architecture bring significant advancements that make these tasks feasible on consumer-grade hardware. Today, 58% of NVIDIA's revenue comes from the graphics cards business, and the rest 42% comes from their computer and networking business. And this is where the game changes, because this division deals in AI-based data center platforms, high-performance computing, and accelerated computing. And this is the one thing that has made Apple, Google, and Meta really scared. To understand this, we need to go back to 2006, when NVIDIA launched its CUDA processors, because this was a time when NVIDIA entered into the realm of AI. Back in 2012, AlexNet, which was an accurate neural network, won the large-scale image recognition contest. And what's more interesting is that the code for this was written on CUDA technology. This was a very major event in the field of AI, and also called the Big Bang moment for AI. Soon, NVIDIA realized that they can use this type of parallel processing for deep learning, which would enable the computers to learn and do things on their own. Basically, all types of AI stuff that you see today is technically done on an NVIDIA chip. So without NVIDIA's hardware today, even giants like Google and Meta cannot do anything. This means that whenever a developer develops a technology, they require hardware for heavy processing, and also after the development, even to use the technology, we need hardware. And this is how NVIDIA, while staying in the shadow, controls most of the market. Because from development to deployment requires hardware. And who makes the hardware? Yes, you guessed it right, NVIDIA. Now we know that NVIDIA has been pouring a lot of money into researching AI. But it wasn't until 2016 that its impact was known to majority of the public. In 2016, crypto mining was at its peak. And for that, people were buying a lot of GPUs. And who makes most powerful GPUs? NVIDIA. Which is why prices of GPUs skyrocketed because of heavy demand and very low supply. And as the prices increased, NVIDIA's profits also increased. In 2016, NVIDIA's profits grew from $614 million to $1.6 billion. And because the profits increased, NVIDIA's share price also increased from $53.76 to $149.79. At this time, NVIDIA was not only powering GPUs, but also in many other areas like data centers, GPUs in the cloud, and of course, training AI models. Turns out that the same method of parallel processing, which was useful for rendering graphics, was ideal for deep learning, where the computer learns the underlying patterns based on inputs and outputs. NVIDIA recognized that this could change the world of computers forever. The same thing is happening again with the AI gold rush. Companies like OpenAI, Amazon, and Facebook are filling entire buildings with GPUs to train AI models like GPT and Llama. But these aren't exactly the same GPUs we use for gaming. NVIDIA has been building separate GPUs like this, A100, which is optimized for deep learning and costs more than $10,000. ChatGPT, for example, was known to have 10,000 of them, which would have cost a lot of money. ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, ended up spending $1 billion as recently as a week ago acquiring chips from NVIDIA. And that's probably the reason why Sam Altman thinks that Indian startups won't be able to compete with OpenAI, which is just $10 million in funding. It's hard. It requires a lot of money, just like with the console wars, regardless of who wins the AI race. NVIDIA is already winning because most of these companies are using NVIDIA's GPUs to train their model. And without NVIDIA, no company would have been able to develop their own AI chatbots so fast. This is the reason why NVIDIA's data center business is growing at a rapid rate, surpassing AMD by 2.5 times. Jensen Huang has also announced that NVIDIA is developing their own data center CPUs, which would be 10 times and at 1/10 of the cost. So if you look very closely, first NVIDIA dominated the gaming industry and made themselves irreplaceable in the market, and then used up the profits in research and development of new technologies, due to which today NVIDIA indirectly controls the entire AI market. Because every company, be it Apple, Google, or Microsoft, are dependent on NVIDIA's hardware. To conclude, NVIDIA has long been known for its top-of-the-line graphics cards, which has enabled the company to base its business model around the sale as such. However, with revenue from its data centers slowly creeping and overtaking revenue from gaming, it's evident that NVIDIA is diversifying its portfolio and revenue stream. NVIDIA is no longer a gaming graphics company, but a computing company. While gaming remains a significant part of their business, NVIDIA has expanded its product portfolio and market reach to encompass a wide range of computing applications. The company's innovative approach to GPU development, strategic partnerships, and customer-centric focus have positioned it as an industry leader in providing world-class technology solutions. NVIDIA is now the world's most valuable company, as investors cannot get enough of the semiconductor maker whose chips power popular artificial intelligence tools such as ChatGPT. An AI-induced rally has taken the company's valuation from $1 trillion to more than $3 trillion in just the last 5 months, overtaking Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, and even Saudi Aramco. They are one of the most valuable companies in the world and have reached this place through humility, multiple innovations, and a lot of research. And on that note, if you like well-researched, entertaining videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mobile App Daily for more such content.